I'm dreaming in dreams.
Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Like I promised, today I will be talking about the great opportunity we have here in Canada for nurses from Nigeria. So there's been a lot of staffing crisis here in Canada the last few years, and it was made worse by the past couple of years, because of the pandemic. And the hospitals are really struggling to find staffing. The existing staff, most of them are burnt out. A lot of them have left the workforce, mostly because of the crisis and everything else that has gone on in the last 2 years. However, Nova Scotia is planning to open its doors to nurses from certain countries. And today, we're just going to talk about the opportunity for nurses in Nigeria, because Nigeria is the only African country that can benefit from this opportunity. So first, today, I'm going to tell you a little bit about Nova Scotia, okay? And if you're watching this and you're planning to apply, it's only good for you to know a little bit about where you're going. Okay, so yeah, Nova Scotia means New Scotland. Okay, don't worry, you don't have a lot of Scottish people there, but the capital is Halifax. It is one of 13 provinces and territories in Canada, and also one of the 3 maritime provinces, and one of the largest of the 4 Atlantic provinces. The population as of 2021 was 969,383 million people. So basically not the size of Nigeria, right? Because that whole population can easily fit into, say, Ocean states or just one state, and you still have a lot of room left. And one thing I found about Nova Scotia, because I have been there, I live in British Columbia, which is on the west side. Nova Scotia is on the east coast, so it's like this. When I went to Nova Scotia in 2017, so I did a road trip across Canada. So I went from British Columbia all the way to the east coast, and it was one of my favorite places in the whole eastern province, because it's pretty relaxing, and I find the people were very warm and very nice. I mean, most people from the East Coast are usually nice, but Nova Scotia was really, really interesting. So, but one thing that really stood out was the climate. I went there in the summer, and the first time I got there, I went close to the water, like right downtown, and I felt like I was in Nigeria, because it has that same humid feeling, and even like a little bit of the smell. So it felt so close to home. And when you stand on that east coast and you look straight ahead, you're pointing in the same direction as Nigeria. So I would say it's pretty close to Nigeria compared to the western part of Canada. And with that being said, I think as a Nigerian nurse, you might find it very comforting to know that Nova Scotia has similar climates to Nigeria, only in the summer. Now, don't you go thinking it's the same in the winter. The winter is cold, just like anywhere else in Canada. So don't you go say, oh, Elena told me it was going to be warm in the winter. No, I never said that. Just in the summer. It's a little humid, and it just feels really nice, okay? So let's get back onto this opportunity. So Nova Scotia announced and that it's going to make the process of getting licensed in that province fast. So over the years, nurses have found that it's so difficult becoming a nurse in Canada if you're from a different country. And I think this was put in place to to make sure that nurses from other countries meet the regulatory standard from Canada, make sure they are fit for practice, all for patient safety. However, this processes makes it very cumbersome to become a nurse here in Canada. So many people who have gone through these processes, most people end up just giving up and then they end up doing something else. There are many great nurses in other countries. When they come to Canada, they end up just going into like healthcare aid program, which is just assistant, and instead of practicing to the full scope of their capability. And this has really made it difficult for staffing in Canada because the hospitals are suffering, the patients are suffering, the existing staff, they are burnt out. They are burnt out, so it's really hard on everybody. So Nova Scotia has taken the first step and say, hey, you know what? We're just gonna make it easy for you to come to Canada and be a nurse. And so in the past, you have to go through the certain process, and this takes about 2 years. Yes, it takes over 2 years to become a nurse in Canada, and that's if you succeed. And this whole process is very discouraging, and many times it's also very, very financially challenging because you spend a lot of money and everything. However, so there was the NNAS, which is the National Nursing Assessment, was put in place between 2015 and 2016 because I didn't go through that process. When I applied to be a nurse in Canada, I applied directly to the regulatory body. So my credentials were assessed by the regulatory body, and I had one point of contact for the whole process. And at the end, they told me, "Oh, Linda, okay, this is what your education is equivalent to that of Canada. You just have to do these 2 courses online and then write the exam, and then here you get your license." So it's very easy. The only thing that took my time was immigration, because you have so many paperwork and they take a long time to get back to you. But the licensing portion was very easy, it was very straightforward because there was no third party. So the NNAS is a third party, and their job is to, assess your credentials, and in the end they tell you that, okay, this is what you got to do, and then that's another middleman to go through before you get to the regulatory body in each province. So when I didn't go through the NAS, and it was very straightforward, and I got my license, and I've been practicing since then. So Nova Scotia has decided to, you know allow nurses from certain countries to apply directly to them. So I'm going to walk you through this. Okay, so just to give you an insight of the current process for getting licensed in Nova Scotia or anywhere in Canada as an internationally trained nurse. So first you have to apply to the National Nursing Assessment Services, NNAS, and you have to pay $650. So that's US dollars. So you can convert that into Nigerian naira, and that will give you an estimate of your initial sacrifice you have to make. And then, so once you do that, you have to arrange to have all your documents sent to NNAS, right? Now, this $650 US dollars is not just it, because you have to pay to get a verification, you have to pay to get police clearance, you have to pay to get your documents notarized and everything, and even your English language test if you have to do one of that. So then the NNAS will prepare your advisory report and send it to you, and this whole process takes about a year. But I tell you, it takes way more than 1 year. Sometimes for some people, depending on the circumstances, it can take, up to 18 months and maybe even 2 years, right? Then next, once the advisory report is done, you're not allowed to apply to Nova Scotia College of Nursing. and that will cost you another $575. This is Canadian dollars this time. Then the nursing board in Nova Scotia will take about 10 weeks or more to review your report. And when that is done, they'll get back to you. This is like after 2 months, maybe 3 months, and give you one of these options. So option one is that you take the NCLEX exam, then you have to pay $360 or more and all these fees, and then you have to prepare for the NCLEX, and then you have to, write the NCLEX. And then once you've done that, then you can apply for your license. So this whole process can take you more than 2 years to accomplish. Or the second decision could be that the Nova Scotia Nursing Regulatory Board may decide that, okay, we need more assessments. Then you have to get that through the Nursing Community Assessment Services, and that will cost you about $1,725. Or you might be required to, do more education, get more education, and that's the Nursing Reentry Program, which is about $3,750. Now you convert this money into Nigerian naira, you actually might be able to buy a whole town in Nigeria with that money. And well, a lot of people actually fall into this decision here. So many people. And even when you're required to do another course, there's a wait list. So you can be on that wait list for a year, 2 years, 3 years, because Canada has very limited space for nurses, nursing education. And then the final route, which you don't want, is to be told that, hey, sorry, you're ineligible for registration. And then you know what that means? All your money, your effort, everything is gone. And I know that some people fall into this, get this decision, and this is so heartbreaking, especially after you've gone through this whole process, only to be told that, hey, sorry, nothing can be done, right? So what people usually want is the first one. This is the most favorable decision, and this is actually the decision I had when I applied for my nursing license back in 2015. This is the decision I got. I know a lot of other people might fall into this, and some people into that. But for now, the Nova Scotia College of Nursing and the health authority are saying that, hey, you can bypass this and just apply directly to us. Okay, thank you. So at this time, they haven't really put out much, but I know that from May 1st, the application will open. And so far, all you need right now to get ready is your police or criminal record check. So if you don't have that yet, just go have it done and go get your papers ready. Okay, get everything ready so that by May 1st, you can apply directly to the Nova Scotia for your license. Now, there's going to be competition, right? Because Nigeria is the only African country that's permitted to go through this process, but there are also countries like India, Philippines, and New Zealand, UK, USA. So you have a lot of applicants that's going to flood this system. But I am more interested in nurses from Nigeria, and I want to help you make sure that your application is up to date and that you have a good chance of getting your license. There are many questions that come to your mind, like, oh, what after I get my license? Does that mean I start working right away? No, but that takes away like 2 to 3 years of the whole process out of everything. And there are so many good programs there that you can apply to for getting your work permits and everything else. But that will come later. after you get your license. Your most important thing is to get your license. And so I'm going to be holding an information session in the next couple of days on Sunday, April 2nd, to answer all your questions, and then to also help you prepare better, prepare your documents, get everything ready. And you want to make sure that you're in good standing. You don't have anything outstanding. You don't have any outstanding charges. You don't have any practice problem and things like that. You just want to make sure that you're ready, okay? However, for now, you can sign up to attend this webinar on Sunday. It's free. So I'm just gonna be here. It's gonna be a live video, and you're gonna bring your questions, and we're gonna go through them, okay? And we're doing this on Sunday at 4 p.m. and Sunday Nigerian time, because I know I've worked in Nigeria, so I know Sunday is like one of those relaxing day after you're back from church or from family meetings or village meetings. And that's where you have the time to do other things. So we're all gonna gather and we're gonna talk about this thing. We're gonna help you find the best way to stand out, okay? All right, thank you very much, and make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification button for so you can get updated when I post new videos. And also fill out the event registration form for Sunday. Just I want to know how many people will be attending so that I can plan better and have better resources. And also when you register, I can also give you some more resources and can go there. Your success is my goal. I want you to succeed. I want to see more Black nurses in Canada. And one day I'll tell you why that is very necessary to me, why that is very important to me. One day I'll tell you, but for right now, I want you all to come to Canada. Yes. All right. I'll see you again on Sunday. Bye.
You know just what you do to me. Play my emotions like a pair of puppet strings. Did it ever occur to you my heart's more than a toy? Please go easy on me, babe. Send message after message, forward my calls. Next day you hit me back like nothing happened at all. What about all the things you used to say to me? This ain't the way it's supposed to be. And you know I wouldn't do that to you. You know